Smikket here. Let's practice solving some quadratic equations. How are we going to do that? Well, good old factoring. Let's get to it. Alright guys, here in example 1 we've got a regular polynomial. It's actually a trinomial if you want to be really specific. We've got it in the form of x squared plus 3x minus 28. Okay guys, so to factor this, I'm going to use guess and check. So I'm going to go ahead and draw out a skeleton of what I know we're going to get. Okay, because I know that we're at least going to get x squared. And the first multiplied by each other is x squared. Okay, guys? So next, I need to figure out what multiplies to negative 28 and adds up to 3. Okay, well, I'm just going to start doing multiples of negative 28 and testing those, okay? So I'll start at 1. What times 1 is negative 28? Well, negative 28. And guys, looking at this, I don't really see anything that's going to add up to 3. So I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay, 2 times negative 14 equals negative 28. If we did anything with these two numbers, is there any way we could possibly just get 3? No. So, on to the next one. Okay, is there a whole number that multiplies to negative 28 times 3? I don't think there is. So I'm just going to go ahead and cross this guy out. And we will do 4. What times 28 equals, or what times 4 equals negative 28? Negative 7, right? Okay, so 4 times negative 7 equals 28. If we did that, 4 minus 7, we're going to get negative 3. And that is not equal to what we have here, positive 3. Not to worry, all we have to do is, instead of doing 4 minus 7, we will do positive 7 minus 4. And all I'm doing is switching the signs. Instead of positive 4 and a negative 7, I'm doing a negative 4 and a positive 7. We get 3. So guys, we know that these are the two numbers that we're missing. We can go ahead and put them up in here in the parentheses. Negative 4 for the second one. And that's going to be it, guys. Let's go ahead and just FOIL it out and make sure that we did it right. First is going to be x squared. The outer is going to be negative 4x. The inner part is positive 7x. And the last numbers is 7 times negative 4. That'll be negative 28. And we've got x squared. Negative 4x plus 7x equals 3x and negative 28. So there you have it. Looks like we did everything right. And there you have it. We've solved our quadratic equation for example 1. Alright guys, we're over here at example 2. We've got another trinomial. It looks a lot like example 1. So let's go ahead and just do exactly what we did to example 1. Alright, so we know that the first variables are going to be x. We need to find something that multiplies to negative 32 and adds to negative 4. Okay, let's go ahead and just start guessing. 1 and negative 32. Nothing like that is going to add up to negative 4. 2, negative 16. Those numbers, that's not going to give us 4. 3, that doesn't really, nothing times 3 is going to be negative 32, so cross that out. 4 times negative 8. And, okay, so that multiplies out to negative 32. And I see that if we took 4 and negative 8, and went ahead and used positive 8 and a negative 4, that equals 4. So we'll go ahead and stick with the original values, and we'll do 4 minus 8, or positive 4 and negative 8, and those will equal to negative 4. And so that tells us, guys, we've got the correct numbers. So I'm going to do positive 4 on the left side, negative 8 on the right side. And let's go ahead and FOIL it out and make sure we did it right. Do the first x's. I'm going to do negative 8 times x, the last ones, or the outer ones. I'll do the inner ones, and we'll get positive 4x. Then I'll multiply the last two numbers, and we get negative 32. And if we go ahead and combine these two like terms, we get negative 4x and minus 32. And there you go. Example 2 knocked out. Let's go on to example 3. Okay guys, and here in example 3, we've got y squared minus 81. Notice there's only one variable in here that has a y, and it's just y squared. A lot of the time we've had stuff that looks like this. You know, y squared minus 2y minus 81. Notice how we don't have anything like that in there, okay? So, what I'm going to look at is this number right here. It's 81. And can you think of anything times itself that equals 81? I can. It's 9. Okay, and we have this little negative sign right here. Guys, this means that we have our best friend in factoring a difference of squares. Okay, this is a square, this is the difference, and this is a square. And guys, anytime you have that, this could be x squared minus 4, y squared minus 9. Anytime you have a square here and a square here and a minus sign here, you know that we're just going to have y. This is going to be square of 81 is negative 9 and positive 9, because of course we have to account for that negative. Okay, so that's the difference of squares. It comes in really handy. You're going to have y minus 9, y plus 9. Alright guys, let's move on to the next example. Alright guys, example 4. We've got 6z squared minus 18. So the first thing that I can see is that we have 6 and negative 18. And we could go ahead and pull the 6 out using reverse distributive property. And we're left with z squared minus 3. See, all I did was the reverse of what we would get if we did 6 times z squared. We would get 6z squared. And 6 times negative 3, we would get negative 18. So I just went ahead and did a backward step there, just so we could get z squared by itself. Okay, minus 18 equals 0. I'm going to go ahead and move this 18 to the right. And it's going to be positive 18. We don't even really need that positive sign, but I went ahead and wrote it anyways for some reason. Okay, and the way we're going to get rid of this 6 is I'm going to divide both sides. And since these are in parentheses, we're going to divide the whole thing. Cancels on the left side. And on the right side, that's going to equal 3. And we're left with z squared minus 3. And since we're not multiplying this by anything, we can go ahead and get rid of the parentheses. That's due to something we call the associative property. Okay. And I'm going to add 3 to both sides just to get z squared by itself. And we get z squared equals 6. And I'm going to move over here to the left. We're running out of space. Just rewrite what we had down there. Z squared equals 6. Okay, so how do we get rid of this squared? We need to find what z is. Well, we know that if we take the square root of z squared, we will get z. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And we will get z equals square root of 6.